Hello students, let's continue with our topic, bills of exchange. Treatment of the bill by the drawer. Now let's see these options one by one. The first, retain the bill till the due date. After the drawee accepts and sends the bill back to the drawer retains the bill with him till the due date. That is, the drawer keeps the bill with him. Then on the due date, the drawer or the holder presents this bill for payment to the drawee or acceptor, and the drawee or the acceptor honors the bill by making the payment. Then the second option, discounting the bill with the bank. Here, after the bill is drawn and accepted, the bill is with the drawer. We know that the drawee will pay the amount of the bill on the due date, but the drawer can obtain payment from the bank before the due date by discounting the bill. So before the due date, the drawer or the holder of the bill discounts the bill with the bank and receives cash immediately. For this, the bank deducts certain amount for services rendered, which is known as discounting charges. Then on the due date, the bank will approach the drawee or the acceptor of the bill and present the bill for payment. The drawee pays the amount of the bill to the bank. And the drawer has a third option, that is endorsement of the bill. That a bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument and it can be transferred from one person to another. So when the drawer receives the bill from the drawee, the drawer can transfer the bill to his creditor to settle his account. The drawer or the holder of the bill who transfers the bill is called as the endorser, and the person to whom the bill is transferred is the endorsee. Then on the due date, the endorsee presents the bill to the drawee or the acceptor, and the drawee pays the amount of the bill to the endorsee. And the fourth option, bill sent to bank for collection. Now in course of business, the drawer or the creditor may receive many bills, and it may become difficult to remember and present these different bills to different drawees on different due dates. So in such cases, the drawer can send all these bills to his bank, and the bank will collect the amount of bill on the due dates on behalf of the drawer. For this service, the bank charges certain fees known as bank charges. In such cases, before the due date, the holder sends the bill to the bank for collection, and then on the due date, the bank will present those bills to the drawee or the acceptors for payment and receive cash from the drawee. The bank then gives the cash to the holder or credits the amount to the account of the holder. Now we'll see journal entries for all these transactions. So we have to pass journal entries in the books of drawer and in the books of drawee. Drawer is the seller, the creditor, and drawee is the debtor, buyer. So the entries when the goods are sold on credit. In the books of drawer, we have to pass the entry as debtor's account debit to sales account, and in the books of drawee, the entry is purchases account debit to creditor's account. The second step, when bill is drawn and accepted, in the books of drawer, we pass entry as bills receivable account debit to drawee's account. Here, bills receivable is an asset to the drawer, and in the books of drawee, we pass the journal entry as drawer's account debit to bills payable. And bills payable is a liability for the drawee. And the third step is treatment of the bill. Now we have already seen all the four options which the drawer has. The first, if the drawer retains the bill till the due date, we don't have to pass any entry here. When the drawer discounts the bill with the bank, the journal entry is bank account debit, discount account debit to bills receivable. If the drawer endorses the bill to the third party to settle the accounts, then endorsee's account debit to bills receivable. And if the bill is sent to the bank for collection, bill sent to bank for collection account debit to bills receivable. In all these four cases, there will be no entry in the books of drawee, because when the drawer practices any one of these four options, the drawee is not a party to the transaction. Hence, there will be no entry in the books of drawee. Then the fourth step, bill is honored on the due date. Now, when the bill is honored, if the bill is retained and it is honored, then the entry will be cash or bank account debit to bills receivable account. Here, the drawer receives cash on the due date when the retained bill is honored. Now, in case of bill discounted with the bank and honored, there will be no entry in the books of drawer because the drawer has already received the amount of the bill before the due date. Even in case of endorsement, the amount of the bill will be received by the endorsee and not the drawer. So there will be no entry here in this book. When the bill is sent to the bank for collection and honored, the drawer receives the amount and has to pay those bank charges. The entry is bank account debit, bank charges account debit to bill for collection. And in all these four cases, whether the bill is retained, whether the bill is discounted, endorsed, or sent to the bank for collection, drawee has to pay the amount of the bill on the due date. So the journal entry is bills payable account debit to cash or bank. Now here we see that even if the bill is retained, discounted, endorsed, or sent to the bank for collection, in all the four cases, the entry in the books of drawee will be the same. That is bills payable account debit to cash or bank account. Now students, we have to write the narration for each and every entry. So see that you write narration for each and every journal entry. Now let's proceed further and see the entries when the bill is dishonored on the due date. If the bill dishonored is a retained bill, then the journal entry is drawee's account debit to bills receivable, and we write the narration being bill dishonored. If the bill is discounted with the bank and it is dishonored on the due date, the journal entry is drawee's account debit to bank account being discounted bill dishonored. If it is an endorsed bill, then the entry is drawee's account debit to endorsee's account. And if it is a bill sent to bank for collection, then the entry will be drawee's account debit to bill sent to bank for collection. Now students, did you notice one thing here? In all these entries, we have debited the drawee's account. So you have to keep one thing in mind. When the bill is dishonored, drawee becomes a debtor again. So even if it is a bill retained, bill discounted with the bank, endorsed, or sent to the bank for collection, in all the four cases, the drawee's account will be debited. And which accounts are credited? In case of retained bill, the bills receivable account is credited. In case of bill discounted, the drawer has to pay the amount of the bill to the bank. Here, the drawee has failed to pay the amount, and so the bank will recover the amount from the drawer. So when the drawer is making the payment, bank account is credited. In case of bill endorse, the drawer had transferred the bill to his creditor so that on the due date, the creditor will go to the drawee and collect the amount of the bill. But now when the drawee has failed to make the payment, the drawer has to pay. So the amount is now payable to the endorsee. Hence, we credit endorsee's account. In case of bill sent to bank for collection, we credit bill sent to bank for collection account. And when we pass entry in the books of drawee, the journal entry is bills payable account debit to drawer's account. For the drawee, the drawer becomes the creditor again. The drawee is not concerned whether the bill is discounted, endorsed, sent to the bank for collection, or retained. In all the cases, the entry in the drawee's book will be the same, bills payable account debit to drawer's account. And students, we had also learned about noting charges. Keep one thing in mind, that these noting charges are the expenses of the drawee. Even if the drawer pays the noting charges, he has to recover these charges from the drawee. So if the bill is dishonored with noting charges, we have to pass the following journal entries. In case of bill retained, drawee's account debit to bills receivable account to cash account. So drawee's account will be debited by the amount of the bill plus noting charges. bills receivable account will be credited with the amount of bill, and to cash account, that is the amount of noting charges. If discounted bill is dishonored and noting charges are paid by the bank, then the entry is drawees account debit to bank account. Here, then the drawees account will be debited by the amount of bill plus noting charges, and bank account will be credited with the amount of bill plus noting charges. Here the noting charges are included in the amount. Same in case of endorsed bill dishonored with noting charges, drawees account will be debited and the amount to be written in the amount column will be the bill amount plus noting charges. And in case of bill sent to bank for collection, drawees account will be debited with bill amount plus noting charges. Bill sent to bank for collection account will be credited by the amount of bill, and to bank account, here we write the amount of noting charges. This noting charges is the expense of the drawee. So the entry in the drawees book will be bills payable account debit, noting charges account debit to drawers account. So drawers account will be credited with the amount plus the noting charges. Students, I'm sure you have understood these entries. Go through these journal entries so that you will be able to solve sums based on this. Thank you.